You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net and 420pace.ca. Good evening, Tamara. How you doing? I was just turning down the volume. It was really cranked on this end.
Well, that tune's pretty catchy, so, it's hard not to blast it when you hear it. I'm okay, I guess. Just kind of, rolling through the motions, right? Just like everybody else.
Right. Is that color in your hair? Or?
Yeah, I put some red in it because it's, it's the holiday season. So I have
holiday season, right? Yeah, you're in red. We got green logo behind us here.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of red just on the ends. It washes out, so it won't.
Does it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just Joico. It's just semi-permanent. I bought a bunch of fun colors, I don't know, a year ago when I was working, because I put them in when I was working quite a bit. And they're just sitting there looking at me. So the night I was bored and figured, well, you're just looking at me, so it looks like you'd better take you out for a bit. So I threw some lighter stuff in. It wasn't showing up, so then I put this in, and it really showed up. It was like, oh, that's a little bit bright, but.
Now, just to let everybody know, tonight we've got a bunch of studies and reports and information that we're going to discuss throughout the night. And if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, hit the like or subscribe buttons as always. Always appreciate that. But yeah, we're going to be talking about cannabis as a substitution for alcohol. We're going to be talking about tumor regression and liver cancer. Also, what else we got there? About older adults. How there's a new study how it reduces suicide rates in older adults.
I think it helps with suicide rates in all adults.
Yeah. I got a bunch of different stuff that we're going to discuss throughout the night. So, as it says, people advocating cannabis education, right?
Well, we'll start with the substitution because we've got that as a substitution. We kind of roll into that after this. Substitution program in Cranbrook is looking for things, again, as usual. We're doing a person to sock campaign. And tomorrow, well, I guess Friday will be the cutoff. Hopefully we get some more things in by Friday. But I've got one volunteer who's been there from the very beginning, and I want to shout out to her. Her name is Jessica Capaccio, and she has got to be the most amazing person. I call up for anything, and she's there. And she's a single mom.
Good. Kids. Oh, really?
So I had to go over to her house and pick up a bunch of purses the other day because we want to have 12 purses and 12 socks. Socks for the men and purses for the women filled with toiletries, right? Like I said, this time with, your toothbrushes and so I'm still short on men's stuff, and I'm short on cannabis, and I'm short on a few things, but we're trying real hard to get that out there. So if anybody can help, we've got 2 days because I want to have these things out there by, Sunday at the latest. Christmas is next week, right? So
it's only 8 days away.
8 days away to the Christmas, and like I said, I want to make sure there's a lot of resources here in town. And unfortunately, because the place that I was going to before now requires an RCMP escort to go into, the social workers, I guess it's gotten pretty dangerous out there. So I'm taking care of the 27 out at Wycliffe. And there's 27 in total. And that they're couples, and then there's, I think it is 3 singles, and the rest are all couples, right? So I'm trying to take care of them. But even our women's transition house today was trying to give toys away because people are so generous in other aspects. But when it comes to my program, because I can't advertise it.
No.
And that's not a non-for-profit registered, I don't get the other benefits. So if anybody in our community can help, I'd appreciate that.
All right. Yes, all the help better.
Thank you.
Now talking about substitution then. And I also want to talk about something else, which has now disappeared off my page in front of me.
Well, you were talking about the whole thing in Nova Scotia, so maybe we should.
Right. Yes. We'll get to
let's thank the President of the United States yesterday for not rescheduling cannabis like he said he was gonna.
We'll get into that later. That's
And then we have a premier.
now it's tomorrow. Now it's tomorrow. It was supposed to be Monday. Now it's tomorrow. So
we have a premier in Nova Scotia that is actively working against First Nations people. He is the only premier in Canada that has been told he is not allowed on First Nations reservations. He is no longer welcome. He is persona non gratis. And if the First Nations shove you off their reserve, you're fucked. But he went ahead and he asked the RCMP to go in and start dismantling their cannabis dispensaries. He stepped over top of right over top of their sovereignty. And then he does one better. And then he says the cannabis is all laced with fentanyl.
Yeah.
Which is a bold-faced lie because the RCMP came out. I just shared an article, thanks to you.
Yeah.
That says that the RCMP says there's no cannabis, there's no fentanyl laced. They have not found any cannabis laced with fentanyl. It's kind of like there's no fentanyl being manufactured in fucking Venezuela, but it's now a national fucking weapon of war.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the article there on when I read that, and I thought, why are you saying that? Saying that it's laced with fentanyl.
Because right now, I know you're not a TikTok user, but if you're on TikTok right now, the political side of TikTok and the indigenous TikTok is scathingly like after him. He has to come up with some reason and justification for him overstepping that sovereignty. He is trying to scramble and backpedal to find any reason that he felt the need to call the RCMP and have them go in there. So he's now being called a liar by the RCMP, but he is being scathingly taken down. Like, he'll be lucky if he makes it. You see the recalls going on in Alberta? He'll be lucky if he makes it to next week if it comes up to the Mi'kmaq. Because the Mi'kmaq are pissed.
Oh, I'm sure they are. 90%
the peninsula is all First Nations land. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, they're not, as it says here, they're not aware of anything being sold in unauthorized cannabis. It's laced with fentanyl.
No,
that's just the big old fear and scare tactic.
It's the big elephant in the room that every politician right now is using to push their agenda. It's a weapon of war. It's this and that. Canada's manufacturing more fucking goddamn fentanyl than probably anybody else. They've been taking down fentanyl in fucking Alberta like fucking crazy. We had a big bust out here in British Columbia not too long ago either. So we better be careful because a fuckface down below us is calling Venezuela mass destruction. If we're manufacturing it and he decides to turn on us, you think we're 51st state by fuck? We will be, and we'll be annexed by force.
What Houston said here was that, this is a quote for him: "I've talked to people in law enforcement who have told me that this province, that they've taken illegal cannabis from unregulated illegal dispensaries and tested it and found that it was laced with traces of fentanyl. Sometimes I hear I don't buy from the government supply because I don't get the same buzz. Well, that's probably why." That's what he says. So the RCMP turn around and come out and say, based on the information currently available to us, the Nova Scotia RCMP is not aware of any fentanyl having been detected in cannabis products seized by the RCMP from illegal storefronts in the province.
No, but then the RCMP in British Columbia do one better for you and take down the place in Vancouver that does your drug testing for you.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought, what the fuck?
So, like, cannabis is legal in Canada, right, folks? Like, didn't we fight for this? Like, didn't we get legalization like 8 years ago? Wasn't it like it's something that we really fought hard for? Yeah, we still have RCMP overstepping because of government regulations that were not done properly to begin with.
Yeah.
Leaving the patients out left this huge gap for dosing. And those illicit people and those online dispensaries and people like me are going to be there every fucking day to help those people because you know what? The government's let us down. End of story.
This is just, like this Houston guy's just.
And the First Nations are For them, it's medicine.
Yeah.
It took us a long time because tobacco for them is more medicine, right? Sweetgrass was not indigenous to Canada, right? To North America. It wasn't an indigenous plant that grew here. Hemp, on the other hand, was, but it wasn't used in the same manner, right? So if you go back to indigenous history, cannabis is not one of their historically medicinal thing. Over time,
well, according to this fellow by the name of Armstrong, who is their one of their what's his position? He's a justice minister there. He says that I'm not aware of even remotely credible basis for suggesting that the use of or trade in cannabis is a Mi'kmaq, Aboriginal, or treaty right.
And that's where they're going to get them. That's the unfortunate thing. And that's the unfortunate way that they're going to get them, because it's not written in their treaties, because cannabis was not something that anybody talked about. And it's not, I'm not going to say it's not, because for some bands, it's farther south, because we're talking Turtle Island, right? And the First Nations were always nomadic. So we can't say for sure. We know that it was, absolutely here somewhere. It's a plant. Now, how it, originally got here, you want to go back to that? That's irrelevant. But the fact of the matter is they use it as medicine now. It's a harm reduction tool used because they're so anti-alcohol, because that wasn't one of their indigenous things either. Indigenous people were not introduced to alcohol per se, like the fire water, until, we slithered over here.
Well, according to this says that there is a 1752 Peace and Friendship Treaty, and it is on a Canadian government website that I'm looking at right now. And they say that cannabis is covered under it.
That's a possibility. Anything that's growing on their land, and if they're growing it on their land, then it's their right. Whether it's indigenous to that land is absolutely nothing, because corn wasn't indigenous to this land either. Neither were cows and pigs. So what are you going to cut? Are you gonna say, well, they can't have cattle on their land because it wasn't indigenous to their land, and they don't have any right to it? Like, you know what I mean? Are you going to slice it down to cannabis cattle? So that's a really fine line, because again, you want to go back to indigenous stuff. It's being used as medicine now, and really it's on their land. And if they're growing it on their land, then it's their right. I don't give a shit.
Well, here's one line here. It says a quantity of bread, flour, or such other provisions can be procured necessary for the families and proportionability to the number of the said Indians shall be given them half yearly for the time to come, and the same regard shall be had to the other tribes that shall hereafter agree to renew and ratify the peace upon the terms and conditions now stipulated. So I think in flour, could you say cannabis flour? It says flour, right? Doesn't say what kind of flour.
No, they didn't. And you know what? Like I said, this is a moot argument for me. As far as I'm concerned, I'm on First Nations territory, and every footstep that I take in this North America belongs to Mother Earth, right? They don't ever claim that any of this earth belongs to them either. And that's the difference. I think whatever they do on the land that they were pushed onto by our government, by the sovereign, they should have every right to do whatever they want on it. They were told that they could hunt and have survival that they needed, and then produce whatever medicines and things that they needed on their lands, right? And like I said, as far as I'm concerned, this is Turtle Island and this whole area.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, when people were saying, "Oh, they're opening, dispensaries in downtown Toronto and blaming it sovereign," I said, "That is." And I'm not First Nations. I do not identify as First Nations. I am not. My son and my husband are, but that's not the point. I'm decolonized myself to the point where I see the truth and we've been lied to. And wherever you go on this North America, Turtle Island, it's theirs. And I think that the speaker says he's got no argument.
Sorry. Yeah, they say here that now the Houston says that I will assure you 100% that we met and exceeded our obligations every single time. He says that they've consulted with the Mi'kmaq's and First Nations in the province. And one of the First Nations counselors, Isaiah Bernard, says that they haven't experienced meaningful consultation. He actually says, this is a quote from him. It says, "Does he dream about these meetings? Because I don't know."
Well, it's kind of like when they, claim to do things that they don't ever do, right?
Yeah.
Claim to have consultation when they don't have them. Kind of like, we all know that the RCMP work on complaint basis, right? Somebody would have had to make a phone call. Somebody would have had to complain. And if the premier is admittingly infiltrating his premier voice into law enforcement, then he's crossed a line on that ethical right there too, because isn't politics and law enforcement not supposed to be, in the same hat? Like the premier can't, he's not supposed to be able to direct the RCMP to do anything. So his statement where he says, "I directed the RCMP," I'd be checking with the head of the RCMP on that one too, because it seems like he's making up lies about fentanyl being in cannabis. So it seems to be that Tim Houston seems to be a compulsive liar.
Yeah, there's also put in to make it illegal to block forestry roads, and I wonder if that was to be able to stop any protests.
Oh, I haven't talked to Deb for a while. I probably should give her a phone call. She was up to her neck in that too. Like they were camping out in the middle of the forest. They were right.
Yeah.
So he's trying to pull a Danielle Smith, and I would imagine that he will pull some, notwithstanding. This will be the new trend. Every conservative across the country is going to start using. And I said today, like, you remember when the feds pulled the Emergency Act? No, you fucking guys were fucking screaming, yelling, same thing. And they're like, no, that's only for 30 days. That's for 5 years. I go, yeah, so it's worse. You have 5 years of bullshit, not 30 days.
And then they can renew it.
Right? So once that withstanding clause goes in, at least the Emergency Act was a 30-day renewal. This is a 5-year renewal, fuckers.
5 year, yeah. All right. Substitutions. That's what we're going to go to until we clicked in. Oh, no, wait, we got talking about Nova Scotia.
But, Nova Scotia, like I said, we haven't even touched on the Vancouver Medical Dispensary being raided. I don't have any details other than what I seen on Facebook that day. So I'm assuming that they, were raided.
Yes, I seen somebody post a comment, but I haven't seen any.
Well, Dana and Cindy aren't talking. Like they got taken down by Facebook a couple years ago now, and they didn't come back, and they can't come back there. Like because of whatever they were posting, Facebook put them in Facebook ban. Like they decided
lifetime ban. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what social media they're on. I haven't checked. I don't use any. So
there's just so many out there that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I told her I just have her phone number, so I'd have to call, but I haven't. If that's what's going on right now, is not the time to call either.
No, correct. But if they're on a social media, there might be something posted by them.
I saw Dory post it. Is where I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah. And it didn't sound like she was on the premise at the time. She just was saying that they were having issues and don't go there. So I'm assuming I could, but I haven't gone looking either. But again, it's pretty sad that we've got people out there trying to help people, and they do drug testing in downtown Vancouver.
Exactly.
One of the most dangerous places in the whole country to access any hard drug on the street. And they do the drug testing. They've got the Spectrum machine, and they regularly rate them and shut them down. Okay, hang on a second.
Which doesn't make any sense.
We've got
there is a benefit. Why not work with them? Yeah.
Okay, so this was yesterday. Oh, maybe it wasn't a raid.
But it was my understanding. But from what I read, basically it's been shut down.
No, there's a posting right now. It says for immediate release 12/15. Vancouver Dispensary Society is currently addressing an internal operational dispute involving staffing and site control. We are working diligently to resolve these matters with urgency, priority, safety, and ensure continued service to our community. We ask the community's understanding during this process and encourage anyone with inquiries to contact Melissa at cannabisdispensary.ca. Our commitment to medicinal cannabis access and harm reduction remains unwavering.
Okay, so this is an internal issue. That's the way I take that from what you said at the beginning of it.
Well, like I said, that one post that I saw on her page is now gone.
So this is an update then, by the looks of it.
So I have no idea. I don't even know what to say. Because if it's an internal issue, it could be, who knows? So we'll just leave it at that. Who knows?
Yeah, well, keep an eye out.
Yeah, they're shut down right now for internal issues. So I lied. I apologize. I put out some misinformation because I seen a post and then posted.
Yeah, I saw a post about it being shut down. I thought it had been raided again.
It sounded like there was police and it was bad.
Yeah, we might have seen the same post.
So I put raid and then just kind of left it because that's my automatic assumption when he's
right.
I should made an ass of myself.
So yes, as far as substitution, cannabis has been shown as a promise in reducing alcohol consumption.
Yeah, alcohol.
Another reason as it being called a gateway out drug. Instead. Yeah.
Well, we've been saying that for 20 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
it's nice to see it. It's actually in writing.
Well, like I said, we talked. Like I said, it saved my life.
Yeah.
My husband and I are prime examples. Like I was, having an addiction. Well, I would say it was just kind of recreational. I won't say addiction. I had a recreational habit that was, long term, and I decided just to throw it away. And cannabis kept me and keeps me so that I don't relapse, that I don't go off and get too hammered up, and because I don't drink when I smoke cannabis either, right? I just don't feel the need. And alcohol always led me to something harder. And it wasn't so much the cocaine it was the alcohol. And it took me a really long time to realize, like, it's genetic, right? I've got alcoholism in my family. Alcohol and I aren't good because it leads me in directions that I shouldn't and made things worse.
Yeah, and just because it's legal doesn't mean that it's for everybody, whether it's alcohol, cannabis, or cheeseburgers.
Right? Like the worst mistakes I ever made was when I was drinking in my life. Since I put the bottle down, things, and then that and then cannabis just keeps me, well, it helps with my pain and health and everything else. Like there's just so many benefits, but I will say it saved my life.
They offered people pre-rolled joints or alcohol doses multiple times a day, and they found a reduction. See, they say the drop from, it dropped from 8 drinks a day to 6.5 drinks a day. And they say the joints were half a gram, 4.4 of a gram, so basically half a gram.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and then over time,
15% THC. There you go.
I think they should give them higher THC because add a little alcohol, a little doobie means a nap. When you're napping, you're not drinking. And you're healing.
The alcohol use declined over time.
The edibles are the best thing because, like, I know for me, I take anything and I'm sleeping. Well, so I hand out the high dose edibles to the people that I do because it just kind of stops them in their tracks and they'll sleep for 16 hours, especially if they've been up for days, right? Because they're using something else. It'll stop them in their tracks.
Participants who, on average, use more cannabis consumed fewer drinks of alcohol. And so that this analysis estimated that for every additional joint that was consumed was associated with a 2.4 drink reduction in their standard drink sizes. That's per day.
Mm-hmm. So you can pretty much get them straight off the alcohol, straight onto
Yeah.
cannabis in a couple of weeks with less withdrawal, because then it's basically weaning them off the alcohol, like you do. Like it's like anything, you have to wean people off of it, right? So if you can wean people off alcohol like slowly by reducing the consumption and use cannabis, then they're not going to have the withdrawal symptoms, the shakes, the rattles, the sickness. Like that's why people don't quit. Like when it comes down to addiction, people don't quit because it makes them sick.
They said that they used cannabis that bought at the OCS. And some of the quotes from some of the participants were, "I'll never go back to drinking. I find cannabis is not a destructive force like alcohol has been to me. It's a gentle glow."
Yeah,
And another, yeah, and another person said, I used to crave to be drunk. That's when I used to crave, but when I'm high on cannabis, those feelings go away.
they do. There's so much, like I said, there's just so many benefits to the plant.
Yeah.
That's just one.
Yeah, well, the people that you've been helping with the substitution program, it's not just all about whether people are.
A lot of them are using hard drugs. A lot of it is alcohol. A
Yeah.
lot of it even is alcohol, because this is a very predominantly minor lager type of area, right? So there's a lot of drug testing around here. So alcohol is something that's out of your system within 24 hours, right? And it's socially acceptable, and you can go get piled up at the Moyer pub and fucking, wear you out, get yourself back. Somebody stays sober in the crew. It's an after work ritual. So, you know what I mean? So for so many people, which again then leads to other things, right? So I would say that 90% of the people that I work with, alcohol is their worst demon. It's not fentanyl. It's not meth. It's alcohol that led them to meth. In fact, like I said,
more of the gateway instead of cannabis.
A couple of them were cancer patients, and they ended up losing their places because they were in the hospital fighting off cancer. Then they were given opioids to help with their cancer pain. And then when the cancer went into remission, they were cut off that drug. And whether they were told to wean or not, they probably were weaned off. No doctor is going to say, sorry, you're done. They will wean you off. But if you're not willing to wean yourself off and you're not willing to take yourself off, then you're in there's a point where the doctor is going to say, no, you should be weaned off this stuff by now. I can't give you anymore. Right? And once you start that weaning down process, the doctors they take note of that. Like, oh, we're weaning you off. Like, you should only be getting, and then if you're not doing that, that's exactly how one of my clients got trapped. And and now she's got cancer again. So
yeah, I know, like during my treatment for my Crohn's, I was on prednisone for like a year and a half.
Oh, I know. I've done that one too. Remember the moon face?
Yeah, exactly. And they have to wean you off of that as well.
Or you go crazy.
Yeah. So
prednisone can make you go fucking crazy. Like if you overtake prednisone because it's a steroid, it can actually fuck you up pretty good.
Yeah, well, I know that the doctor had me in for bone scans and stuff because of it. So
yeah, it can totally. I would think I was on that crap for about the same amount of time. But the methotrexate's no better.
Yeah, I was on that too, right? So
I know you're to the next level because you're braver than I am, because you'll inject yourself when I won't.
Yeah, I had to do the injections.
You're a man. You'll do the things that I won't do. I won't do that. I'm a chicken ass.
I'll tell you, it got pretty nasty. 3 years I had to do them, and the anxiety of having to do them became.
Well, it was like, just get Taven. Just get Taven to do it. You're telling me the health unit won't come here to do it because I got to wear a hazmat suit that you'll let my fucking 16-year-old kid do it? No, I don't think I want him doing that.
Yeah. Well, I know when they injected me the first time with the methotrexate, and just basically to show me how to do it, because I never done it before, and I had the prescription sitting there in my hand. The nurse came out in a hazmat outfit with the goggles and the mask and a full gown and gloves. I thought, holy shit! Yeah. You want to stick that in my body, and you're wearing that stuff?
It's really the side effects are pretty brutal. If you're like a woman, I had a girlfriend here too. Like, don't go anywhere near my pills. Like, don't pick them up. Don't touch them. It causes sterility in some. You know what I mean? If you're pregnant, it can cause you to have an abortion. And she's like, really? I'm like, just don't even like, and don't use my bathroom. Use the bathroom upstairs, like, please, like. I just don't want to harm anybody, right? But that's how toxic all this crap that we got to put in our bodies is.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we get back on the other side of the break, we're going to be talking about some cannabis stuff that came out about women and men's health. Very important stuff that we should be able to spread around, let everybody else know about it. So you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net and 420pace.ca, and we'll see you in about, as normal, 2 3/4 minutes.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor? If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
Pace Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And you're watching the Pace Radio Show. And what do we got coming up now? Let's see. As I mentioned before the break, we're going to be talking about women and men's health when it comes to cannabis. And they have discovered that cannabis, or this report study, we've always talked about it, like you said, for the last 20 to 30, 40 years, maybe 100. But cannabis compounds show promise against ovarian cancer.
Yeah. And you're talking about it being found to shrink tumors in mice at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we have a study that they had another one that was like, it was something with mice that it was negative? What was that? It was a couple weeks ago.
This one here says they have found that CBD and THC together significantly inhibited cell growth, reduced colony formation, and limited cancer cell migration. They say crucially, the treatment caused minimal harm to healthy cells, suggesting that it could be used safely as a treatment. Yeah. They say it's ovarian cancer remains one of the deadliest gynecological malnesis. Yeah, malnesis.
Well, it is for women because they found that ovarian cancer is genetic, right? Back in the 90s. So women voluntarily now go and get hysterectomies and mastectomies done if they've got breast cancer or ovarian cancer. Their direct immediate family. Like I've got girls I went to high school with that their mom died of breast cancer and ovarian, like a combination of both. It started in one and then it kind of metastasized down to and took out kind of over everything. So after they were done having their children, they chose to go and have full mastectomies and hysterectomies done together. They went in and had these. They lived in Utah. They lived in the States. So they did the surgery, paid for it, and had everything removed so they could guarantee that they'd be around past the age of 40 because their mother died when they were 40 when she was to raise their children.
So they said that they did is they tested CBD and THC separately, and then they combined them, and they found yet again something that a lot of us have been saying for years. The best results was a 1-to-1 ratio.
Well, you have to have that THC. I don't care what you say. And the 1-to-1 ratio, again, is not going to get you fucking high because the CBD will counteract the THC, leaving you on an even balanced level where there's no high, right? And it's really hard to explain to people that 1-to-1. But again, if you have like a 1 CBD and a 60 THC, yeah, you might get a little high.
They even tell you how it worked. They said it restored controlling over a pathway signaling system often overactivated in ovarian cancer that contributes to tumor progression.
Well, they're finding. I was watching something the other night about T cells and how the T cells with cancer cannot, like, if they can reprogram the proteins in those T cells to go after the bad cells and keep reprogramming. Biologically, we should be able to fight these systems within our own system, right? Yeah. So adding the CBD and the THC to that protein compound, which is probably what they're doing too, because they have to have a base protein, T cell protein, to even do the research with, right?
Yeah, they say that as always, it needs more. Need more studies. They always say that, but they say that they have confirmed. They're confirming that anti-cancer activity and identifying these key molecular mechanisms. They expect more research will be done because they're showing this is being a benefit.
This might be the reason why the orange potato wants to reclassify cannabis.
Maybe.
I hear murmurings about it when I was watching yesterday that he was asked the question and he said, well, yeah, we have to do something about it because they can't do the research they need to do the research if we don't reclassify it. So is that?
There was, he had said something earlier too, something to do about CBD products and the medicinal.
Well, he's finally come out and admitted that he's Jewish. So let's see where he goes with the CBDs because we know a lot of that Israeli connection with the cannabis, right? So is that the reason why we're getting a declassification on cannabis now? Is because they are Israeli connection?
Who knows? Okay, moving on. Another benefit here that another report shows the experience is improved through using medicinal cannabis, and that is the endometriosis.
Oh, endometriosis.
There you go. Thank you.
That's a hard one. And that's
It's a hard one, even for somebody who doesn't have a speech.
Yeah, endometriosis is another women's gynecological issue, and it's very painful. I'm thankful not to ever to deal with that, but yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah. They said that let's see, they had 63 patients enrolled in this study. It was done in the U.S., not in the U.S., the U.K. And the patients' outcomes were assessed at baseline at 1, 3, 6, 12, and 18 months. And the participants consumed either the herb, the flower, or oil extracts containing an equal ratio of THC and CBD. So there you go, that 1-to-1 ratio again.
But they're using it in inhalation or in extract. So what's the difference in the consumption? Because if the consumption of using it smokably in oral is the same as it is taking it edibly, and the results are the same, that's beneficial for everybody that smokes it then.
Yeah, it says that the patients acknowledge improvements in their chronic pain and other health-related quality of life measures. And that's, yet again, something we've been constantly saying. Quality of life improvements.
That's how my doctor and Hannah signed my papers. He said, I don't believe it does anything to help with your inflammation, but if you tell me it gives you some quality of life, all right.
Yeah. They say 1 in 5 endometriosis patients consume cannabis, so 20%.
Yeah, no, I know quite a few women with that, and they all smoke, all of them, every last one of them. It's more sometimes cannabis for, and I mean, not speaking, but for women, cramping and the menstrual cramps that we have to go through, like I'm just going to put this out there, is something that men will never understand, no offense, but the inflammatory benefits from cannabis overall for those issues is 100%. Like we were doing like even the suppositories for premenstrual, after, during, menopause. Like there's so many things that we don't talk about because of the fact that it's, taboo, kind of like poo. You don't talk about, bleeding. But for women, cannabis has been probably one of the most beneficial things that I found too and many of my friends when it comes to all that gynecological crap. Yeah.
Okay. Now, moving on to the men. Got something here that talks about, they say men over 50 with a history of cannabis use are no more likely to experience prostate cancer than are non-users. So basically, just because you consume cannabis doesn't mean you're going to end up with prostate cancer.
I would think it would help you prevent it, if anything.
Well, yeah, exactly.
If they're finding it beneficial for cancer in general, right? Like all these cancers I know are different, but you keep hearing it's beneficial for breast cancer, beneficial for ovarian cancer, preventative for prostate cancer. The bottom line is cancer.
Yeah. They said no significant associations were found for cannabis-only use versus non-use. So they wanted to do a test.
More testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, there was a recent article that was in the news about the testing, and there was 43 or 4,400 in the last year of like studies and reports that came out on cannabis.
I know but at the end of the day, they're not coming up with any results. You can do as many fucking tests as you want, but at the end of the day, it's not changing. It's a waste of money. You're just throwing money into a pit. All this grant money, all this tax money, all this research money. If you're not coming up with an end result that's actually declassifying it, making it so that it's a grocery store, making it so that it's accessible to everybody at every level that we need it for, it's fucking pointless. We can test it till it's fucking for another 50 fucking years, and then what? We're still gonna be sitting here. Well, we
need more. We've been sitting here saying we need more studies.
We haven't quite studied it enough.
It's one of the most studied plants.
Exactly. Do they do this many studies on fentanyl or opioids or Tylenol or Advil or anything else? Please explain to me how many times. But I mean, I guess they're trying to reach out and branch and see if it's a cure for this and a cure for that. Because God help you if it is, and they don't get to find out first.
Well, here you go. I got it right here. Pulled it up on my phone. They say that for the past 4 to 5 years, so you can say the last 5 years, 4,000 papers are released per year.
Are you kidding me? So if you figure each grant, each research project costs $1 million fucking dollars, we've just wasted $50 billion on research when you could have been fucking putting it to the people.
They say that there's more than 50,000
fucking
scientific papers on cannabis, with most of those published in the last decade.
So how many more papers do we need to convince these fucking muppets that it's good for you? How many more? How many more to tell you that it's not that you don't treat, narcotic, that you're not?
They say that a significant portion of the research explores the medicinal benefits of cannabis and its cannabinoids. So that's good. Instead of going out looking for the bad all the time, which they've been doing.
No benefits to it?
They say because legalization studies to investigate real world effects and outcomes have changed things. Okay, so there you go.
Because they've been looking for the harms and there isn't any. Now that it's
legal, yeah, that's what I said. Now that it's more focused the other way around.
And the thing of it is too, like, you shouldn't. If they find harms, then they would have never legalized it to begin with. Yet they found harms with alcohol and only legalized it because people were making it in their fucking bathtubs and people were going blind, right? So let's be realistic about it, because when this became legal, it was never for an industry. It was always about public health and safety. They wanted to make sure that people weren't getting fentanyl laced and all this stuff, and they wanted it tested. Okay, that was the original reason. Same as alcohol. Alcohol wasn't legalized because they thought it was good for you or they knew that there was no harms in it. They did it because they knew it was harmful. People were actually making it at home and fucking killing themselves. So again, it's the same thing. Why they don't, legalize all drugs? Because they know that if they don't, people are going to fucking keep making it at home and they're going to end up dead. So, and that's it. But cannabis is one thing that they couldn't find any harm in. Yet people were, the only harm in cannabis was getting arrested.
Yeah. They said 90% of all published literature has been appearing since 2002. So it's really only been the last 2 decades where a lot of it's been pushed out, obviously. And talking about cancer, here's liver cancer. They say the pair of patients, HCC. They say they experienced spontaneous tumor regression following the daily use of cannabis extracts.
Well,
did again, another cancer.
Rick Simpson's all right. I mean, Rick.
Let's see. Yeah, they used cannabis oils, THC dominated cannabis oil, so FECO. They said neither patient engaged in any significant lifestyle, dietary, or other supportive interventions aside from the use of cannabis extracts.
So they didn't change your diet, or
they didn't change anything. Yeah, they just started using cannabis daily, the oil.
That's interesting.
Yeah, these patients were 82 and 77 years of age.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I've had a couple that were successful, but not without surgical intervention first.
Yeah. And they say, they still need more trials and all that and everything, but they're seeing it. They're seeing it. That's the, they're not turning a blind eye to it like they used to and just sort of laugh at us.
No, we know somebody that got told she couldn't run in a federal election because she claimed that oil cured cancer.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and she went back.
And one of our guests recently treated his cancer with just cannabis oil.
Like, there are people we know that it didn't work for, and there's people who know that it did. So who are we to say, right? It's just like. Just like any cancer treatment, it works for some and not for all, because not everybody survives cancer. The ones that take the treatment well survive, right? So
I'm a cancer survivor, and I used the oil directly on my melanoma. Did it for a couple months, And it came down to it was surgery time or non-surgery time. And I kept an eye on things through pictures so I could see how things changed. And in the end, I ended up going with surgery. But part of the surgery also told me that the cannabis could have reduced it, or it could have slowed it down so it didn't progress. It didn't get into my lymph nodes, so it didn't spread. So I didn't require any chemo, no radiation or anything.
You know, and I think that's the best thing that, like, when people say, well, man, you've got cancer. You've just been given a cancer diagnosis. If it was me, I'd be throwing fucking everything but the kitchen sink at it. Like, you know what I mean? If somebody's going to say, hey, maybe you should try this, and me going, oh my God, I might get high. Like, you know how many people have had that happen? And like, you know what? Okay, then when you're ready, I'll be here waiting for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, like, there's so many people that are so stigmatized by cannabis and scared of it. It's like, dude, you know me. You see me. You see how I act. I usually have one of these in my hand all the time. Is it offensive? Is it? Am I crazy? Like, am I like what makes you think you'd act any different?
Yeah. You just never know. Just because you got chemo or radiation doesn't mean you're going to survive.
That as well. I've had friends that went through all of it and didn't make it.
Yeah. I've seen it both ways, you know, on both ends of things, and it's, you know, you just don't know.
No. And I, had a cousin or my uncle with leukemia, and I offered it to him, and he looked at me and said, no, the whiskey will kill it. And refused to try it because he was so stigmatized to it. Not saying it would have done him any good or not. He refused to try it because the whiskey was going to kill it. And yes, he's dead. Right? So the whiskey did it for him, all right.
All right. From that, what do we got now? Oh, I mentioned at the beginning of the show about the suicide rates for older adults and how this suggests that cannabis has reduced that rate.
You know what? You have to go over here because you're driving me insane. Sorry,
Where'd you go?
Well, I've got a dog sitting down on my feet, and he's just like wanting up, and I bring him up, and anyways, go ahead, sorry.
All right. Yeah, no, I didn't know you were gone.
No, I was just like, I just picked the dog up, threw him in the chair. Like, I've been literally just kind of went like this.
Let's see. Let's say that states that opened recreational cannabis dispensaries saw suicide rates decline among older adults. Yeah. So that tells you that
access was everything.
Access, exactly.
I mean, it's like I said, it's not perfect, but access is what we have. Dignified access.
Mm-hmm.
That was what our mandate was about, was dignified access for people, and we got that, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see.
Now you're here.
They looked at the suicide rates in U.S. states between the year 2000 and 2022. And the study found that in states where recreational cannabis dispensaries began operating, suicide rates among adults ages 45 and older declined. So the effect was strongest among men, who historically have had significantly higher suicide rates and are more likely to use cannabis to manage chronic pain. And they say that's a health challenge that increases the risk of suicide.
I believe the cannabis, like I said, harm reduction, less alcohol. I think that alcohol is suicide because alcohol is a depressant, right? So if you're
exactly, that's what it is.
Right? So if you're depressed already and you hit the bottle, it's just going to make things worse. So if you can hit a doobie rather than a bottle.
Well, and there was people who were concerned, opponents who claimed that the legalization led to rising rates of cannabis use and worsened mental health trends. And they said the researchers did not find evidence that cannabis availability increased suicides in the report.
It's kind of like Tim Hudson finding fentanyl in cannabis that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, like the lies these people make up, like just to feed some sort of agenda. It just kind of, anyways, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, this is just added more. They say it's more literature to be handed over to the public health impacts on cannabis legalization, and hey, it's reducing suicides in older adults, which is important.
I think like I said, we know this. We've
Yeah.
been saying this forever. But until Health Canada recognizes cannabis as medicine, like I said, we're going to keep going at the same stupidity. I don't even know. They got what they wanted. They got the taxation of it.
Yeah, they got that.
What more do you?
People say it's still not right.
Save the children. Save the children. We save the children. Now the children have no access to cannabis and they got access to fentanyl. So that we save the fucking children? Like, seriously? That being said, like, overregulated and not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough consultation with patients.
Okay, what do they got going on here? We got like 2 minutes before we go to break, so I'm not going to get into the next study until after we get back. When we get back,
the 4,000 studies that they've done in the last 5 years.
No, 4,000 a year.
Oh,
annually, they're doing 4,000 annually reports.
We've got 2,000 studies that we could go through in the last 5 years. It would take us.
Well, it says papers. It says 4,000 papers a year. So is that individual studies? I don't know.
Or is it some graduate student doing a paper at university and it's being filed under cannabis, right? Because that could be too.
Could be. I don't know.
In the world has to do a study.
Yeah, does it have to be peer reviewed to be considered a paper?
No,
it doesn't mention that. So
no, they do not have to be peer reviewed until they're actually into the research stage. And once it's done through a research,
yeah, true, yeah, it has to be done. It has to be finalized.
Yeah, and then it's peer reviewed.
Makes sense.
So they could be doing 4,000 papers. Like I said, that could be an undergrad doing a paper on the hemp fucking clothing for textiles in general study course, and it just goes under statistics as cannabis study. Bang. That's how. Yeah, it's kind of how they do styles, right? It's still a lot. It's enough. It's a significant amount that it brings up you going. Well, that's 4,000 a year. That's a lot of people talking about cannabis, right? Whereas before they weren't talking about it at all because we weren't allowed to. It was such a taboo.
Yeah, taboo, and there was a lot of. There is still barriers, obviously big barriers in the U.S. when it comes to doing research on cannabis, but the studies seem to be based on reports of other studies, and they review all those studies. It's not actually taking cannabis product and testing it.
No, I find it kind of ironic that cannabis has been legal in Canada for as long as it has, and that Canadian universities and Canadian labs aren't doing more studies on it.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
They significantly want us to become independent from these other, so they better start making sure that they're doing their own independent studies away from the U.S. on our cannabis stuff, right? Like, sure, partner up with Germany, partner up with Australia, but keep our cannabis out of Trump's hands.
All right. Time for us to take a break before we go. Thanks for the thumbs up there, Jennifer. Appreciate that. When we get back from the break, as I mentioned, I'm going to talk about something that they're calling this a blockbuster cannabis drug.
Where was this study from?
We'll find out when we get back. All right, you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net and 420pace.ca. We'll see you in less than 3 minutes.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have. as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, we're back. You're watching the Pace Radio Show, and we're into our last segment of the evening. And as I mentioned before the break, we're going to find out about this blockbuster cannabis drug. What do you think it is?
I couldn't imagine.
Okay, well, they say that this is the new multi-compound cannabis medicine look to deliver a major breakthrough to deal with low back pain sufferers. Let's see. They say the results of trials.
Is this a pharmaceutical, right?
It's a pharmaceutical, and it's called VER-01. So VER-01. They say it's able to alleviate pain up to twice as effectively as opioids. It's also found to improve sleep in patients that don't experience one of the alternative's downsides, namely opioid-induced constipation. Which is
I'd be willing to try it.
that.
I would be willing to try it just for the simple fact that opioids, quite frankly, don't kill my pain.
Yeah.
They really don't. Like the arthritic pain that I've got, there's really nothing besides cannabis, and cannabis isn't just quite effective enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now this is being marketed as the drug's name is being marketed is Exilby, EXILBY, and they say it's a whole plant. It's stable, consistent, and repeatable medicine based on proven science in a way existing flower prescriptions cannot. We have my doctor, my regular doctor. He's no longer my doctor anymore. That's what he always said. I can't guarantee that each joint and each plant is going to be the same like a can of pill.
Okay, so is this available in Canada, or is it approved by Health Canada?
Let's see what it says. Let's see. The study involved 1,300 patients, with one of the two trials concluding that this study provides robust evidence that this Ver01, offers better tolerability as well as superior pain relief and sleep quality compared to opioids in patients with the lower back pain.
Well, they used to have what is it called now? Sativa, or there was something that you could get, Nalobin or Nabalone or Nabalone or something.
Yeah, Nabalone.
That was supposed to be a THC derivatory too.
Sesame, wasn't that another one? That was a.
Yeah, there was one that started with an S, and there was the Nabalone. And I had a friend that was prescribed it for his back pain. You should, and you should, right? And he would tell you that, like, you know, if I'm on a plane and I have to, like, you know, kind of ease tension for a bit, but it's not as effective. So they've been trying to do this for a while, trying to get the right compounds of THC to go together, molecules together to make it so that it all works together, right? They've been trying this for 20 years plus.
And the thing is if this could be used instead of opioids, without that, you know,
without that, well, the opioids, you know, addiction, the body chemistry, never mind the constipation. For me, it's not an issue because that's never been an issue. But for anybody else, it sure is.
They say that this medication is effective in reducing neuropathic pain, chronic pain from nerve damage or disease, while concluding that there was no evidence of patients suffering from withdrawal systems after the trial's conclusion. Right. So no withdrawal, but yet more effective than opioids.
Like, you totally withdraw from opioid. Like, it's just like that sounds like a no-brainer. It would be an immediate. I would be an immediate.
Yeah. Now, do you ever worry about a medication like this that would be made up that would stop access to, you know, whole plant cannabis, flower style, natural?
No, because again, it might not work for everybody.
There's 100 different compounds in this medication. They say it's a full spectrum extract from our cannabis sativa strain, containing 2.5 milligrams of THC and 0.1 milligram of CBG and 0.02 of CBD. They say it contains a complex mixture of cannabinoids, terpenes, and other bioactive compounds such as CBG, and then it gets into some terpenes as well, which all contributes to its pharmacological effects. Yeah. It's in Europe more than the U.S., so maybe you're not going to get access to it here.
Oh, probably not.
And it's a 1-to-1 ratio again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, I think the whole reason why they're looking into these derivatories is because they're so anti-smoking too, right?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
At the end of the day, no doctor wants you smoking anything.
Right.
I think it's not a matter of pushing the pharmaceutical end or the chemical compound end of it. I think it's the fact that the big pharma, of course, they're going to make money off it, but I think it's because they're anti-smoking. Because, like, you know, my doctor's okay with me sucking on a candy or chewing on a gummy, but as soon as I say I vape, she's even you're still vaping. Like, you could be even vaping. You're eating it, and you're still having to vape it. And I'm like, yeah, because the immediate release of the, you know, like, this isn't immediate. The edibles take time. So it's like either, you know, taking, like, you know, like Ventolin, you get an immediate, you know, open your lungs, or you wait for the prednisone to, you know, do its work. We're talking about asthma, right? Like, that's the only way to get through to her at the instantaneity of this, comparably eating a gummy.
Oh, yeah. And I've even had people tell me that they much rather take a hit from a bong versus smoking a joint because they found that the effects of the bong is stronger and quicker.
It's a fact. It's a fact. Even a bong hoop per se is into your system faster. It's just the way the chemistry works, right?
Yeah, well, usually bongs, your intake can be rather large compared to just.
Depending on whether you're young or old, you got some lung.
Yeah, true.
And I mean, I haven't smoked cigarettes now in over a year, right?
Yeah, you gotta think like a bong. You know, some of those bongs are really long, right? You got 3 inch.
We used to have the one that had to stand up, was a big plastic one.
Yeah.
You had to stand up to smoke it. I had an emery box as big as tall as I was.
Well, just think you're trying to suck in 3 feet of air, 4 feet of air before it got to you.
It was like there's no way I had that much lung capacity. I smoked cigarettes like for like 30 years. Like, yeah.
You know how cannabis and Olympics has been a no-no? How they're always against that. You know, people have been suspended and stuff like along that line. Well, they did they found that elite athletes found that CBD is useful for soreness, recovery, and sleep. Pain relief, improved sleep, and ease of stress.
And with no side effects.
Yeah, and no side effects.
No hangover.
Let's see what else. They found in the study. They surveyed 80 elite Canadian athletes and across 27 national sport organizations. And they concluded that athletes needed to have experience as part of the country's Olympic or Paralympic team program. So they were, you know, they were that high of elite athletes that they were in the Olympics. And 38% of them reported that they used CBD at one point.
CBD doesn't come up in a drug test.
Yeah. They said they found that 96% of CBD users said that they believe the substance was safe.
It is.
93%, yeah. Improved sleep, 90% said it helped them relax. Some of them, 77% credited it with reducing pain from training. So by reducing pain and helping them relax, does that make them a better athlete?
Yeah, that's totally performance drugs. Totally.
Is that performance enhancing?
Yeah, they could claim that. Got more sleep than my team. That's performance enhancing behavior. What do you mean you have to CBD enhancement?
Just so you know, they said the World Anti-Doping Agency removed CBD from its list of banned substances in 2018. All other cannabinoids, including THC, remain prohibited.
Yeah. As long as you don't piss, hot for THC, you're good to go. And if you do, you're out.
Can't use anything else.
No. No one, you red mail for, marijuana. Not marijuana.
They say that this the authors who are affiliated with McGill University and the Canadian Sport Institute noted that some CBD fortified foods and beverages have been reported to convert CBD into THC under low pH conditions. So if the pH of the person's body is off, is low, they're saying that this could change, potentially yielding significant THC, which is 3 milligrams, to trigger a positive urine test. So you don't want your body acidity to be off if you're consuming CBD.
Well, how the hell do you keep your body acidity fucking on? Like, what do you do?
Eat baking soda and citric acid. I use that in my plants.
I guess
it works as pH up and down in the water.
I know that, but I mean, I'm not going to drink baking soda water. I guess you're. Oh my, good grief!
So there you go. Yeah.
magnesium. That'd be like putting Epsom salts in a glass and giving it a stir. Ugh.
So the Olympic athletes, I got is well, it's just
They're smoking the funky and drinking a lot of baking soda water.
All right, now here is something that is, it's sort of out of left field. When I read this headline, I thought, what? Okay. You want some CBD, but you don't want to grow any cannabis? And you don't want to consume any cannabis? You can make your own.
What is it? A home kit? You got no home kit for CBD.
You can make your own. Okay, I'm just trying to find a word. Let's see here. Okay. They say that there was some. Oh, they say that there are some of the several circumstances when synthetic CBD may actually be preferred to natural CBD. What?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, discovered that caraway seeds, a common kitchen spice, can actually help in the development of medications that act similar to CBD.
We tried smoking that when we were in junior high school.
Did you?
We did.
Is it like the bananas?
Tea bags. Fuck, we tried smoking everything, man. Like, fuck yeah, caraway seeds. Then, what is it? Yeah, dill seeds. We tried smoking it all.
Okay. There's no THC. They say, according to preclinical trials, the caraway-based therapy was extremely effective in treating seizures. What's more, they found that the medication was powerful enough to stop seizures without serious side effects associated with long-term benzos and anticonvulsant drugs.
Yeah. But I mean, what do you, like a caraway seed, like what do you do? Chew this? Like, you can't, like, what would be the ingestible way of a caraway seed?
Yeah. It also promoted healthier brain cell development as well.
Well, the poppy seed has, magical things it does too, right?
Well, yeah. Caraway seeds. I don't even know if I've even heard of caraway seeds.
Oh, yeah. You can use them in baking and stuff. It's like
Thanks, Scott, for the thumbs up. Thanks.
But yeah, it's.
Have you got them in your kitchen?
Do I have any in my kitchen?
Yeah.
Not at the moment. I've got cumin seeds and I've got coriander, which is fairly similar along the same lines, but caraway, no, I haven't. Like, don't you remember having that caraway bread? That hard, crispy, like, it was like a brown, you buy it in a box. Caraway seeds. My mom used to buy it all the time.
Now, well, why caraway seeds? Why do caraway seeds produce CBD? Here we go. Or something similar.
Maybe it's close to a hemp.
They say it contains high amounts of carvone, C-A-R-V-O-N-E, carvone, a natural occurring compound whose molecular structures can easily be modified by researchers. When the carvone scaffold is changed, synthetic molecules that mimic CBD can be created. So can you do this at home? I don't know.
Let's get some caraway seeds. Let's go. Let's become, we'll test tube and get the caraway seeds.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the end game would be for them, but
they say here's other plants that have CBD-like activity. Beltane root. They say it can be similar to CBD in a way that it induces a calm among users. They say some studies documented anticonvulsant activity.
Well, that would make sense if it's a calming.
Yeah. Lavender is another one.
I was going to say lavender. I'm pretty sure.
And talking about lavender, Scott, who gave us a thumbs up, he's got a lavender farm. He's got a big field of lavender growing.
I got a lavender plant on my kitchen.
He doesn't anymore because it's covered in snow. But
yeah, I know. I brought my lavender in from outside from the summer, and It's growing on my kitchen table still.
Magnolia bark.
Magnolia bark. That's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
they
not easy
say
to find though either. Like that's a southern state tree. You don't have
it's known for its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties.
interesting.
Yeah. So there you go. Some other plants. But a spice, it's some people, it's like when they take yeast, ferment it, and make selective cannabinoids. Yeah. Look it up.
I'm not reading it. But with my colitis, I can't eat anything fermented. Like I just cannot do. I can't do the kombucha. I can't any probiotic. Like no. My colon says get better. No.
Now, I know our condition, some people say it can be related to stress. So they tested that out on rats. And what they do, they gave them something. Because they say that rats may seek cannabis to cope with stress. And they set it up, and the rats go bump a thing in order to release the vapor. They say that the rats ran through this extensive battery of behavior and biological tests. And what we found was that when we look at all those different factors and all the variables, we measured stress levels seem to matter the most when it comes to cannabis use in these rats. I was thinking there was something to do with
So they stress the rats
rabies,
out.
the rabies virus.
So they stress the rats out, and then the rats just want to smoke.
Yeah. And the ones who didn't consume didn't go do the bumping. Like the ones that didn't get stressed, they didn't consume.
They just didn't feel the need, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
That's like I said. That's very interesting.
They say over the course of 3 weeks, rats were observed for 1 hour daily, as they were given the option to self-administer cannabis by poking their nose in a vapor port to release a 3-second dispersal of cannabis vapor in an airtight chamber. And during that 1 hour period, students researchers tracked the number of nose pokes by each rat and found a direct correlation to the number of nose pokes and baseline stress hormone levels.
So was the cannabis making them stressed, or were they stressed before they went for cannabis?
See, they said that they did test the rats' resting baseline stress levels. Just trying to see. It doesn't say that they scared the hell out of them or anything like that.
Jim will get shaken apart.
I wonder, how do they stress the rats out? Isn't that what you're sort of wondering, right?
Like, what do you do with them? Put them in a box, shake them up, throw them back in. They have to do like a maze. What's that? They're chased by a cat. Like, like, is your adrenaline like, what kind of stress are they under? Stimulated.
Let's see. I'm not seeing any. I'm not seeing anything that tells you that.
Well, I mean, really, like, what do they do? Put a cat simulation up against the side of a cage with a rat? Like, what do they do?
And this was done, and this is a report right out of the Washington State University.
Well, who knows what the fuck they do? The poor rats down there. Shit. Flooding right now, Washington State, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, actually, we only got a few more minutes left. We should talk about this, and that is the fact that this is our last show until after the new year.
It is, yeah.
Right?
It most certainly is, and it's been a bumpy year. It's been a ride.
Yeah, the network basically will do a last broadcast of this year will be on the 23rd of December. And then our first ones back will probably be January the 5th. Well, maybe even the 4th, because the 4th I'd probably set up the Veterans Action Council to run on the 4th. But as far as our live broadcasting, as we are now, that will be on the 5th, because the Veteran Action Council is a recorded broadcast. So live broadcasting starts January the 5th and ends on Tuesday, the 23rd of December.
Yeah, because the 24th is 1 week from today.
Yes, exactly. So, and what else? Other than that, I might run some stuff during the time off. Who knows? I'm working on something. I was working on something there today.
You're always working on a project of some sort.
Yeah, that just put out just make it available, right? So.
Right. Well, I guess
as far as live broadcast, live broadcast will be.
We'll do a year wrap up at the end of at the beginning of January, then I guess, right?
Maybe, yeah. Who knows?
I mean, if you're bored and stuff, maybe I don't know. We're not going anywhere. Maybe in between we can do a year wrap up before the new year.
Yeah, because like we've during this year we've gone from not only interviewing people but just spreading, as we did tonight, medical information, letting people know.
And we got to just keep doing that. Like, I thought about not bringing back my show in the new year, and I thought, no, I got to keep going. Like, no matter what we're doing in our days and our lives, if we don't keep continually looking up the information and sharing that information, it's not going to get out there. Whether I'm talking to myself for an hour, whether I have a guest or not, it's still that hour of somebody that I might change one person's mind. And that's what I said in 2006. Like, when I started this whole shit show, like, if I can change one person's mind. So, in the new year, we'll be back with Cannabis and Coffee with Marijuana. Substitution program hopefully can keep going. Like I said, we're just kind of trying to trudge through with two of us trying to, do everything. And it's getting frustrating and difficult, but I've got people that can.
Oh, yeah. You have your peaks and valleys, your good moments, your bad moments,
That's life, right? We all have that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had.
And, really, how long have you been doing it now?
A year. It was a year in October.
Okay, yeah. And there's others that have ran for a couple years, and people are always like yourself, looking for things.
I think they always all are. I know Chris in Halifax is always in need of help as well. But again, I'm in a situation where I'm not in a community, where I don't have I'm here by myself. I don't have a club.
Yeah, you don't have a large cannabis community within your community.
No, there's no one. And all the legal stores, unfortunately, the one they would help me, and the one that does help me, they do help me. I'm not going to say they don't help me. Because of Dirty Darts, I keep going, right? When I'm running stuff, I do, but there are times when the roads are bad, I can't get out there. So, there's labs, but I do have some local help, and I've got, like I said, that one volunteer that's there for me all the time. So I'm not there for me. She's there for them. And that's the thing. All I do is facilitate getting the stuff to them.
Yeah. All righty. Well, other than that, anything else?
Or happy holiday and happy new year to all of our guests from prior past shows and our sponsors and all of our watchers and listeners.
Exactly. Yeah. Merry Christmas to our viewers for sure. No doubt about that. Happy New Year's. Make it a safe one. Don't forget to, what else can we not forget?
Smoke them if you got them.
Yeah. Well, you never know. As we had the article, we talked about the research on the reduced alcohol consumption. Who knows? Maybe sometime over this holiday, you'll be able to convert somebody from being an alcohol drinker to a cannabis consumer.
Well, there is positive things. The impaired driving check stops and stuff, the numbers are going down. Yeah. They're not catching nearly as many people impaired driving. They're not you don't hear them pulling over people and taking independent of their cars for cannabis impairment. So again, easier for you to smoke one, sit down for a couple hours, make sure you eat something, and then, if you're feeling okay, you're probably more likely to not get yourself in trouble if you, slam back 20 beer. Just saying.
Yeah. All righty. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next year as far as the Pace Radio show. You'll see me tomorrow morning with the Psychedelics, Cannabis Education and News. The same thing with Monday, and then I'll be done for the holidays, but still a couple other broadcasts to go. So. Other than that, thanks to our sponsors, Limestone City Hydroponics.ca, At-Eze.ca, the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, as well as thanks to you guys, our viewers, our watchers, and our listeners, because this does go out as an audio podcast as well. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
Let's share Pace everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.